Brewed a kit beer and thirsty for more? You've come to the right place. Around about now, many beer lovers, just like you, will have drunk their very first homebrew after receiving a kit at Christmas. Hopefully you enjoyed the experience and you're hungry to brew more, because homebrewing is not only a great way to keep your cost per pint down, it's also a craft which lets you brew the exact type of beer you like drinking. Share it with your friends, set up your own personal pub or tap room, and dare I say it, maybe even go professional one day. Taking the next step can be hard because there are so many options, equipment and opinions out there. This video will hopefully demystify the options available and get you well on the road to brewing supremo. Firstly, and this assumes that you've done just the one 5-litre stovetop kit so far, you might want to get another 3 to 4 under your belt before moving forward. Small brews are good because if it goes wrong, it's not a particularly expensive mistake. You can also then be sure it's a hobby you want to put more time and money into. And mix it up as well. Try different beer styles, try dry hopping, try adding fruit juice. If you brew with one of our standard kits, we highly recommend adding a bucket and siphon. This is just £14 and will bring your equipment in line with our craft series. And once you have this, you can brew with not only our refill kits, but any of our 5-litre clone kits that we have on our shop, and we've got 60 plus at the moment, and also from other suppliers too. There are 3 areas to focus on which will greatly improve your brews. One, and the golden rule, is good cleaning and sanitation practices. Kind of goes without saying, but the foundation of good brewing is good cleanliness. So grab yourself plenty of sanitizing cleaning powder, plus an easy to use sanitizer like Chemsan. Check out a few videos too, and you are good to go. 2 is temperature control, specifically during fermentation. Being able to ferment at a set and stable temperature will make a huge difference to your brews. Yeast don't like temperature fluctuation, and happy yeast make better beer. There's 2 ways you can do this. You can get an old fridge with an Inkbird and a heat tube, the type that you get in a bathroom. This is the best way to go because you can go from cold crash temperature at 2 degrees C through to cellar temperature for dry hopping at 14 degrees C to standard fermentation temperature of 19 to 21 degrees C and beyond. A cheaper and more space-efficient option, but with less control, is a heated belt, pad, or fermenter jacket, or similar. 3 is water. It's easy to get hung up on malt, hops, and yeast, but beer is around 90% water, so it is kind of important. In simple terms, start using bottled water so you can see exactly what it's made up of, or you can look at the water quality report on your water supplier's website. Get yourself some gypsum, some calcium chloride, some sodium chloride, i.e. salt, and some calcium carbonate, and you can get that little lot for under £20. Then you can soften your water for New England IPAs, harden it for stouts, or add gypsum to enhance the hop profile of an IPA. Then, once you've got the basics and processes down, there are 2 crossroads you need to navigate. The first crossroad, do you brew with grain or opt for extract brewing instead? When you brew with an extract kit, there's no mashing, sparging, or boiling. You get a tin of, well, gloop in a can, which you mix with water, sprinkle yeast on, and ferment. Some kits are more advanced with dry hops and adjuncts, but that's essentially the process. You still need to be squeaky clean with sanitizing, but many brew successfully with extract kits because it's quicker, it's cheaper, certainly in terms of equipment, and it's easier. It's also a good option if you're short on space or time. However, we favour brewing with grain for a few reasons. It makes better beer, you have more control over each step of the process, you can design your beers from the bottom up and make them exactly how you want them, and it gives you another hobby you can throw your hard-earned cash at. Hey, there's the postman right now.
You guys got a garage or something? We got like 300 boxes.
The second crossroad, what equipment do you move forward with? So firstly, with extract brewing, you're looking at just £60 for the equipment you need, namely a 25 litre fermenting bucket, airlock, mash paddle, siphon, sanitizer and bottles. Moving to all grain brewing, it is confusing working out which way to go, and it boils down to a trade-off between the following: how much money you want to spend, the size batches you want to brew, how much time you're prepared to spend cleaning and preparing, what sort of beers you want to brew, and the space you have available to brew in. So let's look at batch size versus cleaning first, because the larger the system, the more beer you can produce, but the longer it will take you to clean and prepare for your brew days, and the more space it will take up in your home. With a system over 40 litres, you don't benefit much in terms of economy of scale with ingredients. You will get more beer per hour spent brewing, but you will spend a lot of time cleaning instead. Ed has a 20-gallon 3-vessel system, which is shiny and incredible, but it can take him half a day to clean it all properly and get it all set up. And it also takes up most of his garage. 30 to 40 litres is the sweet spot and the most popular for the average homebrewer. Consider that the most common corny keg size is 19 litres and pressure barrels 25 litres. Bottling at the top end of this scale is fine, but it is a tedious business as it could be over 100 bottles and 100 lots of sanitising, siphoning and moving bottles around your brew shed. Not fun. See our video on carbonation options for more on this. The style of beer you want to brew plays a part too. If you're more of a traditional cask style drinker, a basic fermenter and siphon will do the job. Whereas if you're into super hoppy and pale craft beers, then you'll want to be able to ferment under pressure and transfer to keg via what's called a closed system, i.e. no air contact. And in an ideal world, you want to be able to do both. So focusing on 30 to 40 litre setups, let's break it down based on how much cash you want to spend. £130. Other than getting an old urn or fitting a cooler with a heating element, the cheapest 30 litre mash tun with element that we've seen is plastic and produced by the malt miller. This budget will also get you a mashing net, a mash paddle, 25 litre bucket, fermenter, a airlock, siphon, sanitizer and some plastic bottles. £250. At this price point, you can get a stainless steel brewing kettle with grain basket, hop spider, plus the other items I just mentioned, or a budget system like a class stein. You're still using a bucket to ferment in, so upping this by just £30 will get you a basic pressure fermenter, or £180 for a metal conical fermenter. At this point, it's worth noting that if you're going down the pressure fermenter route and plan to brew pale craft beers, you'll want to work towards kegging, which is a £200 to £300 investment. Again, see our carbonation video. £500. Once you hit the 500s, you're looking at slick systems like the Brewzilla or the Grainfather S40. We particularly like the Brewzilla because it offers incredible functionality at an unbeatable price, including Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity. This price is still based on a simple bucket fermentation and bottles, but an extra £130 will get you the brilliant Firmzilla fermenter, which will really start moving things on for you. So we're up to £630 now, or not far off 1,000 bananas if you add the equipment needed to get kegging. If you have more to spend, then you might want to check out Grainfather's range, like the G30 at around £700 for the system on its own. Then at over £1,000, we have some amazing and shiny options, but you are firmly in the land of high cost, minimal improvement, which is a land I personally get seduced by time and time again. Like when an expensive amp company tells you it'll make you a better guitar player. It doesn't. There are some brilliant books that we highly recommend, and YouTube is of course an incredible place to learn and share ideas. There are still a few homebrew shops around you can drop in on and clubs you can join. And then we come to Facebook. Facebook is incredibly helpful to chat with other brewers on and share ideas, share techniques and so on. But beware of social media and don't allow yourself to be discouraged by silly comments. There are some super supportive people within the brewing community, but there's also a few who will try to knock you with comments like, your beer's oxidized, or don't ever lift the lid off your fermenter, or why do you want to brew your own John Smiths? Or you might just be brewing a style of beer that another person doesn't like. So my advice to those guys is,
Why don't you off?
Brew what makes you happy. How you brew is down to you. Experiment and make mistakes, learn what works and what doesn't, and most importantly, learn what you like. Don't be discouraged by bad brews either. Bad brews will teach you more than good ones. Take it on the chin and be better next time. We have a quarterly homebrewer meetup here at Brew Bros HQ in sunny North Dorset, and all are welcome to attend. It's great to see people. And lastly, a shout out to some great suppliers. Even though we are technically a commercial operation nowadays, we will always recommend good suppliers that we ourselves use. Companies like Malt Miller and Brew Day and Brew Keg Tap too. And Brew Builder. So there we have it. Get some brews going. Let us know how you get on, and hopefully this has helped you out a bit.